Never was flattered. I want mine from the jump. I always wanted mine. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? You know what it's more about for me?
Is that?
It's because they're never gonna cut us a check. That's just not gonna happen. It's more of a disrespect when, kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, how they used our clip. And like I said,
you guys already know that you've been listened to, but it's stamped. So Adam Silver dropped some news regarding the NBA All-Star Game next year at the Clippers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things are sounding familiar. So 3 of the things is, 1, the All-Star Game will feature some form of Team USA versus Team World. There aren't specific details, but that's what he released. It will also now be in the afternoon instead of the evening time, and it will be on NBC instead. Mace, after hearing that news, and obviously we're still pending more details, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about them making the game at the afternoon, as well as taking this game and actually making it USA versus the world, these are all flattering things, pause, because we know you're listening to me, you're listening to Killer. That's important, but we need a check. We know we're not with the big companies that you're talking about, but you can't keep stealing these ideas. I'm no longer flattered. I'm no longer flattered that people quote me and, use my IP. But it's time to pay up. We did that last season. You know what I'm saying? It's just enough is enough. I see them do this time after time. In big corporations, people that I think get paid to study, they be stealing a lot of my lines. It's crazy out here. Killer, I was on the internet the other day. They had your interview everywhere. It's flattering that people put the picture up, but come on.
Yeah.
I'm a partner. I need pause. I need in,
Yeah. Look, I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you, because I couldn't say... I never was flattered. I want mine from the jump. I always wanted mine. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? You know what it's more about for me?
What is that?
It's because they're never going to cut us a check. That's just not going to happen. It's more of a disrespect when, kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, how they used our clip. And like I said, ESPN, feel free to use our clips. We have no problem with it. The only problem I had was that anytime they use anybody else's clips, they'll say where the clip is from. And for our stuff, they never said where the clip was from. And that be my only part, the acknowledgement. the shit when they be like, yo, we've been thinking about it. And we came to the conclusion that if the United States faced the rest of the world, that's the ticket right there. But you know how they make the announcement, the undermine shit? What they do is with status, I didn't even know everything. What we're gonna do is gonna be the United States in some form against the world, and then we're gonna do it in the afternoon instead of nighttime, and then it's gonna be on not TNT, but NBC. First of all, look, let's do a couple things, right? We know it's not going to be on TNT because the contract is up, so we know it's going to be on MTV. Now you try and douse it with, try and start a new conversation like, yo, why it's not in nighttime? Right. Why I got to be in the afternoon? What the time got, all right, cool, whatever. The fact is, the main thing is that the United States will be playing against the rest of the world in some form, however you want to word it. But you try to douse those other things into it, to belittle the main thing that's the main thing is that the United States will be playing the rest of the world. Okay, cool, it's not coming on at nighttime. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, whatever. Oh, it's gonna be on NBC. Duh, the All-Star Game usually was coming on TNT. We know it's not gonna be on TNT. I have no idea. Murder, I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like, you might as well just take our money and slap us in the face at the same time and walk off and say we did that. We're open for secret consultation. If you want to contact us and keep it, saying that y'all didn't use our consultation, we're available for that. We're available to give you secret ideas and act like, yo, it wasn't us. It's called ghostwriting.
Yeah, Nas wrote Get Jiggy With It.
Yeah, you know, Jay-Z wrote motherfucking Dre Day. I wrote for 3 Little Women.
You did?
Yeah, they hits, they single. I'm in the credits. I wrote that. Promises, that's me. I pinned that joint, man. I don't even know that's around Stat age group, a little older maybe. Maybe older than Stat. But yeah, man. We're very creative, man. Just tap in, man.
Just out of curiosity, is there a song that you wrote that you feel like a lot of people don't know about? Because I know you wrote a lot.
The thing.
You wrote half a Lil Kim album one time too, Lil C shit. Remember they paid you $30,000, nigga? Man, I wish I knew what I knew now. that was a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, man.
But I can't remember. I mean, I wrote for 3. I would have to look at my plaques in my house. I got a lot of plaques in my crib. But the one song that I will say that I did write, and she didn't like it. That was one of the best things, because that's like one of my closeout songs, to be totally honest with you. And she didn't want the song, and I'm happy she didn't.
Wow. Yeah, I'm happy you kept it, because that's on fire. A quick little mock-up, because I know really y'all have thrown out the idea of Team USA versus the world a lot, but these are the players, because I know we were going back and forth on what players should be the team. So they've got Anthony Davis, KD, LeBron, Steph, and Jason Tatum versus Wemby, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, and SGA. So which team would you guys take in their prime, and which team would you take now?
Stat, you go, Stat, with these questions.
Decided, maybe 2 answers.
Man, in the prime, this still would probably be a good game, but I think I'm gonna go with the overseas team. I'm going with the overseas team. Right now, I don't know nobody that could stop SGA. Right now, it just seemed like they would have been better putting a bigger guard out there, because this is gonna be impossible for Steph to stop SGA. They don't have no answer for him. And with Wemby and the rest of them, I think they win by double digits. I don't even think it's a close game.
So you would take the world now in their prime and now over Team USA?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
There's only 4 niggas in that picture. That's the point. You can't even find a 5th nigga from America.
No, it's 5.
Who's the 5?
AD, KD, LeBron, Steph, and Jason Tatum.
Okay, I seen a picture with 4. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think that team is good, but they're not gonna be able to play good together, because all of them need a lot of shots.
Well, to answer the question, I'm taking the world now. In their prime, I'm taking America in their prime. You know, KD in his prime, and I hate to use the word prime, because these guys are still playing at a high level. KD, LeBron, Steph, those 3 especially, for being over 35 years old, 36, 37, 38. KD's going to be 37 at the beginning of the season. Steph is 37. LeBron, of course, we know going to be 41. So I would definitely take that team in its prime. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's today. Today, you looking at this. Let's think about the guards. Who's the guards for America?
Yeah. So
It's Steph and who? Jason Tatum at the 2?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking SGA over Steph. You can argue if you want to put Luka against Jason Tatum. Let's do the matchups. Luka against Jason Tatum. It depends on what Jason Tatum you get. You know what you're getting from Luka. It depends on what Jason Tatum you getting. Who we got at the 3? Giannis and KD? KD, my man, that's a good one, because KD can shoot. KD can shoot. It's all about pick your poison with that. Do you want the 6'10", 6'11" lethal shooter, or you want a nigga that's strong and dominant that's gonna go to the hole? Pause when you talk about Giannis. I would pick KD, but it's really about, that's not a bet. I wouldn't be mad if you did pick Giannis. Who's at the 4? LeBron against who?
Joker.
Joker at the 5.
Yeah, we would put AD with Joker. It would have to be
I'm taking Joker over AD.
Wemby.
Wemby against LeBron. I like Bron. Bron, you know Bron, my brother.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's hard, man. Boy, it's hard, man. It's hard, man. Yeah, it's hard, man. Pause.
And then you got AD versus Joker.
I'm taking Joker. I ain't even.
And the reason why I said the overseas team is because there's not much defense on this America team. It's like they're not gonna be playing no defense other than LeBron and Tatum. Nobody else really is gonna be playing defense. So that's two positions, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a hard one. I'm gonna let the
KD
comments
is
let us
not
know
gonna
what
be
they
able to
think,
guard
too.
no Giannis full speed coming downhill. Pause. That's a bucket.
But can Giannis guard him when it's time to hit the three?
That's true. That's a good. That's
why I said
KD is my favorite player.
That's why I said it's really, that matchup right there is really about, you could pick which type of game you want, because they're the same height just about, but two totally different games. I'm not mad at either answer. Or who you would pick out of those two.
Who do you think, Stat?
In their prime, I feel like I would take USA, and now I would take World. Prime KD, prime LeBron, like,
That's my answer too.
yes.
Stat.
Yes.
Why do you smile like that when you say prime KD?
Because that's who I'm taking.
That's who you're taking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We just agree to disagree, and that's okay.
Your eyes are rolling like I don't know what's going on here, but I'm an observer. I'm a doctor, Cam. You know, I pay attention to body language and eye movement and all that. You know,
I'm just expressive.
all right. I'm just saying there was a lot of flutters. You know?
Jitters. I'm just expressive.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I feel like that's typically how I explain my answers. When I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going USA.
Okay.
Sorry.
Who would you take today out of, because that was my answer too, KD. I mean, like, you know, KD and Giannis, because my answer was, I'm taking the World today and a primetime USA. But I'm asking you as today, Giannis or KD today?
Today?
Yeah. Because KD is still that nigga. I'm just asking.
For sure. And that's hard when you say it out loud. I think KD's like this.
I'm still going KD. But why your eyes do that?
Yo, you're annoying. I feel like that's hard.
I'm just watching.
It's like I can't help but choose KD, but like Giannis is also like, what? I think I would go Giannis.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. I think I would go with Giannis. But KD, to me, is still one of the best players ever, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go with KD today.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the prime, but you can't undervalue, and like I said, like Giannis, to me, you know, he's just first team All NBA, but to undervalue the accuracy of a 7-foot shooter, it's pretty tough.
Yo, what's good, everybody? We need to talk about something that's got the entire NBA community scratching his heads right now, because Rich Paul is suddenly telling a completely different story, and fans are not letting it slide. If you've been keeping up with everything that's happened over the last couple of days, then you already know why people are calling this one of the biggest backtracks we've seen in a minute. Just recently, Rich Paul had everyone talking after making comments that many people interpreted as LeBron James seriously considering the New York Knicks under the right circumstances. The way it came across was simple. If the situation had played out differently, the Knicks would have been a real destination for LeBron. That statement immediately took over basketball conversations, because we're talking about one of the biggest stars in NBA history potentially ending up in the biggest media market in the world. Yesterday, I covered those comments because they were impossible to ignore. Rich Paul seemed to paint the picture that if the Knicks hadn't already reached the level they did, there could have been a legitimate opportunity for LeBron to step in and become the face of another championship run. Whether you agreed with that idea or not, that's how a lot of people understood what he was saying. But here's where everything started getting interesting. A new clip from what appears to be the same interview, or at least one recorded around the same time, started making its way across social media. And this time, Rich Paul wasn't just speaking freely. He was being challenged directly by Max Kellerman. Max basically stopped the conversation and said, "Wait a minute, I want to push back on something you just said." Immediately, you could tell where the conversation was headed. Max reminded Rich that he had previously suggested LeBron would have been in New York if the Knicks hadn't already reached the level they did. That wasn't some random assumption. Those were comments that Rich himself had already put out there. Then Max broke down why that statement mattered. His point was that if the Knicks hadn't reached that level, LeBron could have come in, helped deliver a championship, and received all the credit that comes with changing the direction of one of the NBA's most historic franchises. But because the Knicks had already found success, joining them afterward would have created a completely different narrative. That's when things suddenly changed. Instead of doubling down on his earlier comments, Rich Paul immediately shifted gears. Rather than saying LeBron actually wanted to go to New York, Rich started explaining that it was more of an old conversation. According to him, it was something they had talked about years ago, almost like one of those hypothetical basketball discussions people have growing up. In other words, he tried to make it sound much less serious than it originally appeared. Now that's the part that's got fans debating, because just a date earlier, the comments sounded direct, they sounded confident. Plenty of people walked away believing Rich Paul was revealing that LeBron genuinely viewed New York as a possible destination. Now, after Max questioned him, the explanation suddenly became much more cautious. Instead of talking about a realistic possibility, it became a story about conversations from years ago and how people may have misunderstood the context. Naturally, social media noticed the difference immediately. The clip spread everywhere. Some fans accused Rich Paul of completely changing his story after getting pressed. Others argued that his original comments had simply been taken out of context and that he was only trying to explain what he actually meant. And honestly, that's where this whole debate begins. Because if you watch both clips back to back, you can understand why people are confused. One version sounds like LeBron really had interest in the Knicks if the circumstances were right. The other version makes it seem like it was never anything more than basketball conversations between friends over the years. Those are two very different interpretations. Of course, this also brings up another interesting question. Why has New York always been connected to LeBron James in the first place? The answer is actually pretty simple. For years, basketball fans have imagined what it would look like if LeBron ever played at Madison Square Garden as a member of the Knicks. It's the biggest media market in basketball, one of the league's most recognizable franchises, and the kind of move that would instantly become one of the biggest stories in sports. Any superstar joining New York creates headlines, but LeBron, that would dominate sports media for months. Rich Paul even acknowledged that New York has always been a perfect fit from a business standpoint. The market, the media attention, the branding opportunities, and the overall story would be massive. Nobody really disagrees with that. The disagreement comes from whether LeBron actually wanted to make that move or whether fans simply connected the dots themselves. That's exactly why Max Kellerman stepped in. He wasn't letting the conversation move on without pointing out what sounded like a contradiction. And to be fair, that's something a lot of viewers appreciated. Instead of simply accepting the original statement, Max asked the obvious follow-up question that plenty of basketball fans were already asking online.